with so many inputs from the government and the insurance industry, I turn to Mr. Chakravarti, who will give us a perspective from the provider side. Mr. Chakravarti is Chief Operating Officer, Hinduja Hospital.
Which was left on the dais, and everybody has spoken whatever they wanted to say. Thank you for giving me the opportunity at the end, because tailenders come at the end and they hit 6 and win the game. So let me share my views, and I know all of you are here since morning, so my presentation doesn't have much text and heavy material for you to share. I have very few limited slides where I want to share some of my thoughts from not from a provider side. It is mainly to balance the relationship between the insurance company, government agencies, as well as the private operators, public operators. And the topic is that quality healthcare accessible and affordable. So what I try to do, I try to see that whether really healthcare insurance company, they think in that line, whether really it goes like that. See here that I have taken the mission statement and the tagline of one of the leading or one of the largest insurance company in the world who are in existence. I have not given the name here, but you see here the tagline says that quality healthcare accessible, making quality healthcare accessible is their motto. And they talk about again in their mission that is improving quality, transparency and value for money. So I don't know whether you can guess which is the company. This is actually Bupa. This is from the insurance side. Now I move to a healthcare provider. This is Pennsylvania Hospital. I have just highlighted this as a hospital. They are also thinking about superior quality, then expanding access. But in reality, how much we are able to deliver, how much we are really working towards that to bridge the gap what we have today. All of us we know that insurance is nothing but a prepayment mechanism where an insurer health is covered for the risk whatever they are likely to face in future. In Indian scenario, we have spoken about most of the time now the government insurance as well as the the private insurance company, but we also have a significant volume of social insurance in place. And in this social insurance, if you see, I have written a question mark, payer and provider. In most of the cases, the ESI is covering the health insurance as well as they are the provider. And from the historical perspective, it has been seen that there is a very risky situation where you have a very limited control over quality as well as the cost controlling mechanism. Market coverage, we need not to mention, it is very less. All the figures have been shown by the previous speakers here. We have a lot of issues and challenges. Some of the challenges I am going to share shortly. But what we need to really have the innovative products. Today we talk about that you need to buy an insurance. As soon as the insurance agent comes to any person, if we are not from the healthcare sector, if anybody approaches us, we try to keep ourselves away from the health insurance policy agent who try to sell us, because we believe and we feel that heart attack is made to be for my neighbor, not for me. We think some health crisis will happen to my colleague but not for me, because always we feel you are healthy. But how often we take the proactive step to get our health insurance at a very early stage till the time we become sick. So unless and until you have some innovative mechanism, it is difficult for us to sell the concept and get a buyer for that. And we have a very poor track record in terms of market penetration, because since 2001 when IRDA came and everything happened, we are expecting that market will grow very fast. But it didn't happen as per the expectation for different reasons. Some of the reasons have been shared already. I'm not going to repeat those. But of course, according to me, the micro insurance, community insurance is likely to work best for us from the experience of Karnataka and some of the other states, and we should look for that rather than working in isolation in a fragmented way. And what the kind of challenges and issues we have? Now I have something to share with my colleagues from insurance sectors, that it is not that insurance hospitals, the inflate bills alone. It is also, if some of you are not able to read this from the back, it says that insurance company says that breakable bones, a tendency to bleed when cut, vulnerability to germs and viruses, these are all pre-existing conditions, so I am going to reject your claim. And similarly, I see it has nothing to do personally with my hospital, but we see that in newspaper thing, in Consumer Redressal Forum, it comes again and again that this claim was rejected. Now insurance company has been made to pay 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs for cases of 2002-03, but if it happens in 2013-14, very soon it will reach few crores. Similarly, I will not keep myself out of the discussion. It says again, you may not be able to read, so for your benefit I will read it out, that your heart is okay, but after all the tests we ran, your bank account may need a transplant. So that is the kind of expenses which has gone up, which has been shared by the previous speakers. Now, very interesting part is the consumer, the person who is buying health insurance. What they say, I have not brushed or flossed in years because I want to take advantage of my dental insurance. So the health insurance preventive checkup, I have seen in many occasions, many people, they request that if you allow me to get admitted overnight in the hospital, then I can claim for my whatever preventive test and checks I am doing. Now, if that would have been given as a part of the package, probably I would not have inflated the bill in a big way, and I could have availed that as an outpatient facility, and I could have reduced the claim amount. But that kind of privileges are not there from most of the insurance policies. From a hospital, it is sometimes they say that you are not a profitable patient, so I want you to go. So that kind of verdict also is there. So ultimately, what you are ultimately doing here, we are pointing fingers at each other, that it is not me, it is you, it is not you, it is so and so, like that kind of blame game goes on. But is it the way we are going to work? So according to me, I have taken two hypotheses, I have taken two myths, that quality healthcare is always expensive. That is the kind of thought, that is the kind of assumption, that is the kind of hypothesis is there in our mind most of the time. But you can see here just what Dr. Velumani was mentioning post-plant session. You can see here scientifically, or rather through research, it has been proved that if you work in the productivity frontier, you can improve the quality. You can see the shift of quality where the cost has fallen down. And how that is possible? Exactly the number game what he has mentioned. If you have more and more number, you are likely to bring down the cost, and if you don't want to compromise or some sorts of adjustment in your ethical practices, you can give the best possible care at a lower price. Now, what is quality in healthcare? Many of you or all of you are aware about it. I am not going to get into the details, but for me, the very important part is the point number 5. Patient outcomes. Again, my colleague from the insurance sector has already touched upon.
Yeah. Mr. Chakravarti, may I request you to wind up in a little while? 2 minutes?
Okay, I'll take 3 minutes.
3 minutes, fine.
That's a black sheep?
Yeah.
Okay. So, see, the outcome-based payment mechanism, or in US, the kind of system which has been introduced, that pay for quality. When your outcome is good, you get more. When your length of stay is less, you get more. If your infection rate is high and all. But those things are not typically practiced here today in India. And this is another very important thing what we can see here. They have a system of assessing patient satisfaction. And on the basis of patient satisfaction, you have to score more or better to get better reimbursement. But where is that system? So if that kind of innovative thoughts are brought into practice, that will be very good for us to get a good market penetration. Some of the best practices: disease management. Disease management, like chronic diseases, today there is no system that if a patient, what Dr. Lele was mentioning about, that you tell after 3 months or 6 months that you should go for glycosylated hemoglobin test, or you should go for some sorts of checkup if you are suffering from a disease, you can definitely save a good amount of money which could have been incurred because of hospitalization out of that particular disease. I'm going to, and another thing is, for example, home care, day care. In these kind of formats, when we deliver health care, is there a way by which insurance company can pay? Otherwise, what happens? Everything becomes hospital-based care, which becomes more expensive. And access to quality is a privilege for few. That is another, hypothesis or other assumption what we have, thinking that very less number of people can get better quality, but according to me, it is not so. It can be entirely changed again with that theory of that number game, where you can get more number of people to come, reduce the cost, and very importantly, you distribute the provision centers, or rather I should say the healthcare providers should be available in different locations, which can make this quality healthcare accessible for many people, and in that way we can, the kind of equitable distribution issue is there in the healthcare today, we can get rid of. So I'll just leave some of this. One interesting thing is, which we are likely to get soon, likely to see very soon, that to cut costs, some of the insurance company may tell that you shift your clinic to China and we will pay there. If you have a treatment here, we may not pay you. Not in every aspect. Okay, and anyway, we are sitting on a time bomb, so anytime it may, the way it has been mentioned, 12 to 15% GDP in US, we may be much lesser than that, but that is also a good amount of burden on us. And if you continue to work like this, it is likely to explode one day. But our ultimate aim or dream should be, these people who are so-called in the bottom of the pyramid, as Dr. Lele has mentioned, that what we are really going to do for them, how we are going to give better coverage and better access to them. Thank you.